Good evening, gorgeous flower pots. We are live. It is Wednesday night and it is time for night time with me, your Auntie Nelly. How are we? How are we this evening? Give me a like, give me a love and give me a share. Let me know in the comments where you're watching me from. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, wherever you may be in the world. We have got night time with Nelly tonight. Hello, Linda Fontaine. Hello and welcome to this evening's night time with Nelly. Before we start, I'd just like to say that there is strong language throughout and there will be talk of a sexual nature. So viewer discretion is advised. Also, any advice I give on tonight's show is purely for entertainment purposes. So, Claire Clark says, hi, I'm from Ashby. Somebody is watching in Texas. Karen Ann Arms has joined. Rio Cooper Dan says, hi. Abigail Lochko says, good evening, lovely. Annabelle Elizabeth Draper is also watching. Good evening, one and all. Thank you for joining me on tonight's night time with me, your Auntie Nelly. So what happens on Night Time with Nelly if you are a new follower to the page or you've not seen a live before? Well, what happens is my gorgeous followers send in Dear Auntie Nelly's to the page and then I open up one of my many phones and I read out the problem. A problem shared is sometimes a problem solved. As I said, any advice I give on tonight's show is purely for entertainment purposes. So if the end of your knob is luminous green, go and see a general practitioner. If you stink like Fleetwood Docks, go and see a general practitioner. Okay, because I am not a general practitioner. We don't know what we're going to read. That's the fun of the show. And last Wednesday, I was laughing for hours after, reading all your lovely comments after where you're all joining me from across the world. And it was such fun last Wednesday night. It was really, really good. It was hilarious, wasn't it? And I got loads of lovely inboxes saying that last Wednesday night really cheered people up. It made the day. And hopefully we'll get the same again this evening. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you all may be watching me from. Rachel Ann Grant says, I'm new to the page. Well, as I said, there is strong language and talk of a sexual nature throughout. Viewer discretion is advised. So if that's not your bag, off you fuck now. Hashtag bye Felicia. Okay, so we have got Sally Ann Reynolds watching, good evening. Kirsty watching from County Durham. Claire Clark's watching, good evening Claire Clark. How are you, Flower? And Michelle Irving. So I think we've got one or two watching, haven't we? I think so. I think we should get going with the very first Dear Auntie Nelly of the evening. Stars are enabled on this live. And if you do send me any stars, honest to God, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so, so much. That helps all creators online. By you sending us stars, we get a penny and Facebook take the rest. But do you know what? It is what it fucking is. Let's get going. Okay, I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited this evening. And I can't actually tell you why, but I'm extremely excited. Dear Auntie Nelly, recently, I found the courage to walk away from a 15-year marriage. Oh, that wasn't me. Sorry, I don't know how to read. I'm not excited. I am glowing, aren't I, Siobhan Scott? Oh, will be revealed soon, hopefully. Okay, so I had the courage to walk away from a 15-year marriage that wasn't making me happy. I'm a 47-year-old woman, so am I. And it wasn't an easy decision, as the thought of starting over again in my 40s is terrifying. I have been chatting to men online and I've met a guy in particular who I really like, but I'm worried about how things will be when we get to meet up in person. Have I not read this out before? Oh no. I've only ever had sex with 3 people in my life and the first 2 I can barely remember. My friends all say that sex will come naturally, but I'm not so sure. I don't know what to do. It puts me off dating because I don't know if I actually want to have sex. I might have forgot how to do it. I just need to find some confidence. Please help. What I would say there is, when you've not had sex for some time, it is a bit like riding a fucking bike, isn't it? Once you've had sex and you know how to have sex. Sex is sex. It's like an international language. It's done the same all around the world. When we haven't had sex with somebody for a long time, we do lose that little bit of maybe self-esteem, self-confidence. And the fact is that we don't really understand how it's going to be with a new person. So I don't think you're terrified of actually having sex. I think you're just terrified of it being with a new person and sharing that new experience of being intimate, vulnerable, and with somebody else that's new, that's the new partner. Because when we've been with our partner for how many years did you say? Quite a long time. You know, it becomes a bit mundane, or you get used to each other, you know exactly what's going to happen, it becomes habitual. So that can be quite terrifying. But what I would do here is, I would not think about the sex. I would not think about dating ultimately for sex. I would just enjoy the dates. I would go out on dates, talk to lots of different people, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Go out on dates, have drinks, you know, get taken out to dinner, made to feel nice, get the compliments, and see where it goes from then. And if, you know, you do meet somebody, you really like them, there's a lot of chemistry, you fancy them, they're ticking all your boxes, and then things move to being intimate, it will come naturally. It really is like riding a fucking bike. Just, he might have been a BMX, and this one might be a chopper that you're going to climb on. Who knows? But I wouldn't let that put you off, because if we start cock blocking ourselves, you're going to be 57 and even more terrified than you are tonight. So I want you to stop thinking about the next steps, because you've actually not even gone on a date yet. And I always say, don't sleep with them the first time you meet them, unless you're not right keen on them and you don't really want to see them again. And then fuck them up first date, because then you're both getting what you want. Job's a good one. I'm not saying that you shouldn't sleep with people on first date. Things can naturally progress like that. But don't be thinking about having sex. Just go out on a date, meeting the opposite sex and having a nice time. Mine might be a tandem next. My next one might be a fucking tandem. What do you think about that? Is a tandem where they're at front and you're at back, or you're at front and they're at back? Can't fucking remember. Hello, Maz Jones. Hello, Michelle Irvin. I'm seeing names pop up now. They weren't popping up before, but they are now. So good evening, everybody. Let me know where you're watching me from. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Dear Auntie Nelly, I am a woman in my 40s and feel frustrated when it comes to sex with my husband. I love him and I still fancy him, but sex is very routine and I want more. I feel there's something missing, but find it hard to bring up the conversation with him. I think we've both got a bit lazy. I was just saying that 2 minutes ago. Sex isn't really high on the agenda anymore. We usually do it late at night when we're both tired. So he doesn't really put much effort in and it doesn't really last long. What can we do to make it better? Do you know what? That is such... You've put more effort into writing into my page and waiting week in, week out to see if I read out your problem. And you should be putting that effort into your intimacy with your husband. That's where your effort should be. All right, fair dues. It does get a bit mundane sometimes and, you know, it does get a bit vanilla. So we need to add a bit of spice into the bedroom. We've got to keep things interesting. If you still fancy your husband and you still want to jump on him, then why don't you do a date night? Why don't you cook a really nice meal one night? Surprise him, put some sexy underwear on. Instead of waiting for him to make a move, why don't you climb on top? Why don't you make the move? Make effort into putting time into your schedule that's just for you two. And I'm not saying that has to be a night of penetrative sex. It can just be a night of massaging each other, having a lovely dinner, sharing a bottle of wine, laying in bed together and talking and laughing and cuddling and kissing. You know, make time for yourself as a couple. And whatever comes with it, brilliant. But don't just think, oh God, it's like he's knackered and I'm knackered. He'll climb on 2 pumps of the fucking squirt and that's him done. And then I'm left with fucking wet patch. That is just going to be a recipe for disaster onwards if you don't nip it in the bud now, okay? So make a night where you say, right, Thursday night, no phones, no TV. I'm going to put radio on in kitchen. This is me being romantic. I'm going to put radio on in kitchen. We're going to get a takeaway. You bring home a nice bottle of wine. You might, you know, if you want to surprise me with a bouquet of flowers, feel free. And then we're going to sit at table, eat our takeaway, and we're going to have a night just us two. No interruptions, no interference. And then see what happens and make it happen. Fall in love with your husband again. You said you love him. You said you find him sexy. But are you still in love with your husband? Put that spark back into the relationship. Get sat down at that kitchen table. Look into his eyes. Tell him how much you still want him. Reminisce about the times where you first met each other. What was it that you both found so attractive about each other that you couldn't keep your hands off each other? Put that back into your relationship, because believe me, once it's gone, it's very hard to claw back. Very, very fucking hard to claw back. So make that time. The effort has to be made. And you have to do it sooner rather than later, before it goes, before his eyes start wandering, your eyes start wandering. Please take the initiative and do something just for you two. It is so important. Do it now. Yeah? Do it now. Do it right now. Do something that you've never done before. Take a tub of ice cream into the bedroom. You know, wear some sexy underwear. And I always say that people will say, oh, Nelly, you're always saying put sexy underwear on. I wear sexy underwear and I'm fucking single. It makes you feel nice. It makes you feel nice. And when you're feeling nice, you're looking nice and you carry yourself a little bit different. So, right, dear Auntie Nelly, my partner wants sex every night. He sulks when I say no. And he wants to know why. I've spoken to him many times about this and explained that I don't always need a reason. Things will be okay for a while, but then he reverts back to the same behaviour, sulking. It's really frustrating. We have sex at least 3 times a week, but it's just not enough for him. What can I do? I think if your boyfriend said, are we having sex, and you've said, no, I don't fancy it tonight, and they fucking sulk, that's a little bit of coercive behaviour, because they're trying to put you in a situation that you're not comfortable with. Therefore, you might give in just to make them happy and to stop sulking. I'm not being funny, but that then is not consensual, is it? You're having to do something that you don't really want to do. Anything we do in the bedroom that we don't actually want to do is not consensual. And therefore, it's a criminal act. We should never have sex with anybody because it'll stop them sulking. Because it means that I can go out with girls at weekend. Because I've seen a right nice fucking Tiffany lamp, and if I fucking suck him off tonight, he might buy it me. We should never, ever take something so intimate between a couple for granted like that. We should have sex with our partner because we desire them and we want to be emotionally intimate with them, physically and emotionally. And if we're not feeling it, we're not feeling it. And that's okay. But he has to understand that you're not always open and fucking ready for him. You're not the fucking 7-Eleven flower. And no means fucking no. And he needs to understand that. So I'm thinking maybe your partner's slightly immature. But he's having sex with you 3 times a week anyway. And I'm hoping that the 3 times a week is consensual. If it's not, and you're doing it just to stop him fucking sulking, I'd really be looking at the relationship I'm in, because it doesn't sound to me like it's a healthy sexual relationship. And if we've not got a healthy sexual relationship, we have no relationship. Okay? So there's no obligation to have sex with your partner, whether it's your boyfriend, a fuck buddy, a husband, a wife, whoever it may be. No means fucking no. And if you're only having sex with your partners, and I'm speaking to all of you here, because it's Like, it stops them being in a bad mood, it stops them sulking, or I've seen an handbag I like. You're not having sex with your partner for the right reasons. I wouldn't want my partner to have sex with me just because they think, well, it'll stop a fucking sulking. I want my partner to have sex with me because they really want to have sex with me, because they adore me, they desire me, and that I turn them on that much that they want to be intimate with me as their partner. And it's such a lovely thing between a couple to do. But honestly, no means no. And don't ever not say no because you think you're doing something to get something or to stop something. No means fucking no. And he needs to understand that. So, hashtag kitchen table. First couple to go to the kitchen table. And tell him that, you know, and sometimes we don't want sex, and it's not because we don't love our partner, and it's not because we're not in love with them, and it's not because we don't fucking fancy him, it's just because we don't want to have sex. It's as simple as that, isn't it? Sometimes you just don't. You know, you shouldn't take it as a rejection, or, you know, if you don't fancy it, you don't fucking fancy it, it's okay. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't lay in bed and hold each other's hands or give each other a kiss or still be quite tactile with each other. But if he is sulking because you won't fuck him, oh dear God, I've just seen the first line of the next Dear Auntie Nelly. I'm going to just have a bit of water. Right, are we ready? Are we ready? Viewer discretion is advised with the first line, I would say here. Dear Auntie Nelly, my boyfriend has a sex doll. Here we go. It's not like Lars or the real girl. Right, well, I don't even know what a Lars or a real girl is, so. My boyfriend has a sex doll. It's not like a Lars and a real girl. It looks like an anime girl and couldn't pass for a real person. This is why he refuses to get rid of it. He says I shouldn't be jealous because she's fulfilling an impossible void. No real woman could have boobs and an ass like hers, he said. And she is willing for any act all of the time. He doesn't see her as a real person, and neither do I. But he says it's the same as me owning a dildo. I don't own a dildo. I'm 24 and I thought both of us were too mature and financially unstable to waste money on sex things when we can just have sex with each other. But the anime doll apparently disagrees. He keeps her in our bedroom closet. I've had to move my clothes so she can be in there. Fuck me. I don't want to break up, but the longer I live with him, the closer I am to snapping and setting it on fire. Fuck me. Jesus, that escalated quickly. How can I phrase the fact that I want him to get rid of it, but that doesn't make me seem jealous or prudish or unreasonable? And am I being any of these three things? Please be honest with me. You can't be jealous of a sex doll, can you? Because it's not real. An anime doll, I don't know what that means. But it is a tool for masturbation. So being jealous of a sex doll, it'd be like being jealous of him watching porn and having a wank, wouldn't it? What's he actually doing with anime doll? Is he fucking you and she's laid outside and he's having a go with her and fingering you? What the fuck's going on? Why are you so involved in his masturbation? Should he not be keeping the anime doll as a tool of masturbation when you're not there? I'd have a problem if he like pulled out a fucking blow up doll out at wardrobe and said, here, fucking blow that up while I have a shit and then I'll come back and fuck both of you. That'd be a problem. But how can you be jealous of a doll? It's a doll. It has no feelings. It's a doll. He's not cheating on you. So you're jealous of him rubbing his cock on a piece of plastic. The real problem here is, I think, without you saying it, is you don't actually have a dildo and you might not masturbate, and that's fine. You may just be really satisfied in your sexual relationship with your boyfriend that you don't feel that you need to go anywhere else. And even though it's a doll and a tool of masturbation, you're seeing it as he's going elsewhere. So you're feeling that he's adoring and desiring this plastic doll more than maybe he is you. And you want all his attention and his adoration and his sexual desires on you. That I understand. I get that. But I don't think you should be jealous of a doll. I don't think you should burn it because that's a criminal offence and you'll end up with a police record. Because number one, it's not your property, and setting fire to things is called... what's it called when people set fire to things? Anyway, you'll get done. But if you've really got a fucking problem with this plastic doll, then you need to tell him that you've got a fucking problem and say, listen, I don't mind you fucking wanking all over her face, all over her eyes, all over her fucking tits. I just don't want to know about it, and I don't want it in wardrobe. Can you move it? Can you put it in garage? Can we do something with it? I don't want to know. Okay? And if you do use her, do it when I'm not here. And just leave it at that, because you can't stop folk wanking. You can't. You can't stop folk watching porn and having a wank. And if he's out like the rest of the majority that have a wank over porn, by the time you've finished having your wank and you've cleared your Google search history, you can't even remember what you were wanking over. So I don't think for 1 minute he's in love with Anime Doll. Arson. That's it, Emma. Thank you very much. So I don't think it's right for you to be jealous, but I do think there are issues here. And I think if we really open up the can of worms that you're not wanting to tell me, I think you've got problems in your relationship where he is not making you feel more than. You're lacking. And because you're lacking in your relationship, this is making you feel less than. Because you're feeling less than, you're thinking it's because of the doll. So put your big knickers on, sit him down at that kitchen table and say, listen, I've had a think and I've had a word with me Auntie Nelly. It's not really about the doll. It's the fact that you don't desire me enough for me to think that that's not a problem. That's the problem, because you're not making me feel worthy. I need to feel desired. I need to feel like all your wanks and hard-ons and all your sexual desires are aimed at me. And by having a plastic doll in wardrobe, who I know you pull out now and again and wank all over, I don't like it. Makes me feel uncomfortable. However, if I felt like I was your world, the only girl in the world that could make you hard, then I don't think you having a sneaky wank every now and again would be a problem. So I think that's really the problem, because when we're so satisfied sexually in a relationship, we don't have these hang-ups, we don't have any knocking our confidence, we don't have any knocking our self-esteem. When we're not sexually satisfied, then we want to be whatever it is that turns them on. And I think with him saying things like, well, nobody could compare to this doll, it's probably making you think that you're not as attractive, or you don't make him as hard, or he doesn't enjoy sex with you as much. So that's what you need to be looking at. That's what you need to be looking at. And at the end of the day, if you're not sexually satisfied with your partner because he doesn't make you feel like you desired, you're worthy of his love, if he's not giving you butterflies, if he's not making you fanny flutter, if he's not making love to you and fucking you left, right and middle, then are you with the right person, regardless of the doll? Because I think sometimes when we have problems in our sexual relationships, we do look for problems elsewhere, and we don't always find the pinpoint. So I think it's all right talking about this doll, but I think the point here is your relationship, and I don't think he's making you feel worthy. I think that's the problem. I think I might have put the nail on the head there. But don't be doing arson. Don't throw it away. It's not your property. Don't set fire to it. Don't end up with a criminal fucking record for setting fire to a fucking anime doll. Moving on. Dear Auntie Nelly. I'm a bit of a sore throat tonight. Allergies. Dear Auntie Nelly, my boyfriend is great and loving. I don't want to make this War and Peace. Oh, but here we go. Fucking War and Peace. Here we go. We're ready. I'm just going to say, he recently revealed he has a fetish. Are you ready? his fetish is he wants to spread STDs. Let me make it clear. He's not actually, in capital letters and underlined, spreading STDs, but he likes to pretend he is. I like to pretend I'm fucking Jennifer Lopez, but there we go. I agreed to try out some kind of role play with him because I felt like he deserved that. Okay. And having sex, he was saying, I'm giving you gonorrhea right now and you can't even stop me. I've actually just got a bit of sick in my mouth there. I mean, I'm not vanilla by any stretch of the imagination, but somebody laid on top of me pumping away saying, I'm now giving you gonorrhea and there's fuck all you can do about it. I'm not into Roman showers, but they'd be sick. Anyway, this was the biggest turn off for me ever. But he says this is a common fetish. Is it? Question mark. I told him I didn't like it and he said, well, we don't have to do it again. But he got a bit mad about it. But how can I get over this? I feel like I'm ruining a great relationship with a great guy because I just can't get over the fact that he has this fetish. And no offence to anyone watching Nighttime with Nelly who has this fetish, by the way. I can absolutely fucking guarantee you right now, with all these people watching and even on hashtag catch up and hashtag replay, all the people watching and all my channels now watching me live, I bet you 50p, right, because this is where all this fucking shite started from, there will be no fucker watching now who has got a fetish of pretending to spread gonorrhea. I can absolutely fucking guarantee that in an instant. I have never heard of such a fetish. I would have to Google to see if there was a fetish that people would be turned on by thinking they were giving another person gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, HIV, AIDS. I can't think. There's fucking loads of shit you can catch. Crabs. I have never heard of it, and I'm 47, and believe me, I've been down a few fucking back streets and up and down a few wheelie bins, and I've never heard that, ever. So, I don't think you'll be offending. And number two, can you get that out your head? Can you get it out your head? Can you move on from this? We all sometimes have little fetishes, don't we, that we should keep to ourselves. and you know, and you've got to give the lad kudos for being honest with you and wanting to share that with you, you know, because some people don't always share things, and I think that's something that shouldn't have been shared. But that's his fetish, that's his fantasy. And if it's not something that you want to be involved in, and you've told him that, and he said, okay, we don't have to do it again, even though he was a bit annoyed, can you move on from this? Because it sounds to me like he's gone, that's absolutely fine then, don't do it again. But can you move on from it? And if you can't, and it's something that's stuck in your head, and you can't actually move on from that, then no. You're going to have to spoil this great relationship, because that's going to be forever in your mind. While he's fucking you, is he thinking, oh, I'd love to give you a bit of fucking syphilis? Is he thinking that? Are you going to be laid there thinking, is he thinking that? You have to ask yourself this question, not me. But also the question is it a common fetish? Absolutely not, no. The answer is no. It's a no. 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 No, 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 no. It is not a common fetish. Moving on. I'm going to give you gonorrhea right now and you can't even stop me. Oh, sexy. Dear Auntie Nelly, about a year ago, my husband and I decided to have an open relationship. We've been married for 9 years. We are both comfortable and happy with our relationship and didn't think it's anyone else's business how our relationship works. So we didn't announce it. All right, okay. However, my cousin and sister told me that they'd seen my husband out on a date. Oh, When I said thank you for telling me, they were really shocked because I didn't cry. All right, okay. I didn't cry and didn't agree with them when they said he was a two-timing cheating cunt. Oh. And I said, he's not. And they said I should fuck him off. I just left and I haven't spoken to them since. So how do I tell them the details of our relationship? I already know that when I tell them, everyone will know. If there's two people who can't keep anything to themselves, it's my sister and my cousin. And they've probably already told the rest of the family that my husband is a cheating cunt too. Please help. Right. A year ago, you decided, after 9 years, that you wanted an open relationship, and that's absolutely fine. That works for you. That works for you and your husband. You fucking crack on, flower. As long as it doesn't involve animals or children, can't give a fuck. Right. Your sister and your cousin have seen your husband out on what looks like a date, and they think they're doing the right thing approaching you, telling you, thinking that your husband's a cheating cunt because they don't know that you're in an open relationship. What you need to do here is speak to your husband. Sit him down at #kitchen-table. Sit him down and say, listen, our Lisa and Tracy have seen you out on a date with that woman that you met on fucking Tinder. And now they think you're a cheating cunt. They don't know we're in an open relationship. So what do we say? How comfortable is your husband with the information that you're going to say in order for people not to think that you're somebody that's being cheated on and that he's the cheater? So you need to get your stories right. And it doesn't have to be a story, but how much truth do you give? Your husband might say, fuck it off, I'm not interested. It's fuck all to do with anybody else. And therefore then it's up to you what you decide to do, because does it really matter if people think your husband's cheating on you when you know he isn't? Or do you want to say, well, actually, we're in an open relationship, it works for us. Not only does he go on dates, but I do too. So, you know, I don't need, you know, oh, well, that's fine if that doesn't work for you. And I don't care who you tell, but it works for us and we're very happy. Okay? But how before you start speaking to people or approaching family members or, you know, this happening again, you need to ask your husband what he feels comfortable, because there's two people in this relationship and it's you and your husband, regardless of the people that you date on the side. And how comfortable is he with other people knowing? So if you're comfortable with other people knowing, is he also comfortable? And how much information do you actually need to share? I don't think you need to share any information, but you could have said, yes, okay, yeah, he was on a date, you're absolutely right. I was also on a date, we're in an open relationship and it's working for us. And that's it. You don't need to go on about how many dates you've had, how many dates he's had, where you're getting your dates from. Does he have sex? Do you have sex? Do you do it like as a foursome? You don't need to do that. But if you feel comfortable doing that, put it to bed. But also make sure that your husband's aware of it and he's also comfortable with that information going out to people. Yeah? It's not an issue for you two. It shouldn't be an issue for anybody else. But you'd be very surprised because people feel really uncomfortable if it's something that they couldn't see themselves doing. And then obviously if you do open up that conversation, people will also start asking you questions that you may not be comfortable in asking. So before you do that, please speak to your husband. Dear Auntie Nelly, whenever I see my girlfriend eat, it makes me feel so turned on that my dick twitches. If she is eating a cheeseburger, I get a massive hard-on. Oh, dear God, where are we going? I don't know if I have a fat fetish. If she put weight on, I would just be as attracted to her as I already am. But at the same time, I'd be really happy if she was so fat that she was bedbound. This might be like a troll writing in. And had to have me feed her and care for her. Oh, good God. I don't know if any of this is normal, but I do fantasise about feeding her up so much so she's so fat that I have to fuck all her fat rolls. Is this normal? Because I'm really turned on typing this. Thanks. P.S. She's 5'2" and a size 20. There are people out there that are feeders. There are people out there who are chubby chasers. There are people out there who want to feed the partners in a way of, this is like a sexual fetish where they feed them that much that they do become bedbound and they do need to be cared for. You know, there's also people out there who make a very generous living by being fed lard, chocolate milkshakes, eating pizza, rubbing the bellies, and men watching them on YouTube and them wanking. And they make a wage out of it, puts milk on the cornflakes. But you actually wanting to feed somebody until they're bedbound, I mean, don't you love your girlfriend? Do you not want her as happy and as healthy as possible? Because if you wanted to do that to somebody, surely to God, you're taking away their sort of happiness and health, aren't you? I mean, I don't mind the fact that she's a big girl, as long as she's healthy. But anyone who's bedbound means that they're not healthy because they can't fucking mobilise. I don't know what's sexy about that. But I would certainly say, yes, it is normal to have a fetish where you get turned on by bigger girls eating, you know, smearing themselves in chocolate or whatever it may be. That's a normal fetish. I've come across that quite a few times. I mean, I've took food in bedroom now and again with a partner and forgot it was for sex and just fucking ate it. He weren't much turned on, you know, but there you go. But yeah, so feeders and chubby chasers do exist. It is a fetish. Is it normal? Your question was. Yes, it is normal. Have a look at it. But rather than trying to encourage your girlfriend to being so unhealthy that she's then disabled and bedbound and can't mobilise, just watch feeding. Is it called food porn? I mean, I bet you have a fucking field day with Nigella Lawson, don't you? But there's things on the internet, it's free. YouPorn's free. YouPorn is free. And you can then subscribe to women who, you can even ask them, go and get a 12-inch pizza and eat it while I'm watching a wank. You can do all sorts like that. It's normal. As long as it's not affecting animals or kids, I'm all for it. But I won't be forcing any fucker to get so big for your sexual desires, where then they are immobile and the classed as disabled and they need a fucking carer. Absolutely not, no. Oh, dear Auntie Nelly, my girlfriend has a kink. Oh, here we go. She wants to make... Oh, fuck off. No, this isn't right. No. Right, let me read it, but it's not a real one, this. And do you know why? Because this comes to my inbox every single fucking day. And I can't believe it's actually fallen into night time with Nelly. Let me read you this, but it's from a troll. It's not a real dear Auntie Nelly, right? Every day on my Snapchat, on my Instagram, on my fucking TikTok, on my YouTube, on my fucking Facebook, on my Twitter, this little bastard falls in my DMs with this message. Are you ready? Dear Auntie Nelly, my girlfriend has a kink. She wants me to sniff her bum every time and she forces me to inhale it. Sometimes she gets in the doggy position and she sits on my face, and sometimes during oral or 69. Sometimes she fingers in her bum and makes me smell her fingers. What do I do? Do other ladies do this with their partners? Right, so that's the troll who's wrote in. So, because it's anonymous, I wonder if I can get it blocked or banned. Hello, Facebook admin, are you watching? That was in tonight's messages, so please, if you can find the IP address and get that banned. Because I get this fucking fella messaging every day about being angry and upset that his girlfriend wants him to smell her anus. Moving on. Dear Auntie Nelly, now that I am beginning to date women, I have realised I have a problem with pubic hair. It makes me sick. I have dated women who shave and I'm fine with them. I've also dated women who don't shave and I'm not. But how do I know dating women in the future if they are shaved or not until we get sexy? How do I ask a woman if she has pubic hair without sounding like a pervert? As I really can't date women with pubic hair, it makes me sick. What makes you think, right, that because you're going on a date with a woman that you're going to get in her knickers and see whether she's shaved or not? Don't fucking flatter yourself, sweetheart, number one. And number two, if you really have got a massive trauma, like I have with rats, and you're petrified of a bit of fucking pubic hair, then you need to be asking the question. You need to say, what's your deal breaker? And when she says, oh, well, if you're me, what's your deal breaker? Well, if you're not taller than 6 foot, can't go out with you. And then if she says, what's your deal breaker? Say, I don't like pubic hair, it makes me sick. Just be honest and open, ask the question, and ask the question, answer the question, and move on to other conversations. If she says, well, you know, I don't mind doing that for you or whatever, but don't be thinking that just because you're dating for that you're getting the fucking knickers. But ask the question. If you're absolutely terrified of pubic hair, ask the fucking question. Ask it. Say, what's your deal breaker? Say, speaking to me, what's your deal breaker? I'll say, well, you've got to be over 6 foot. That's how it is. What's your deal breaker? Well, I don't like pubic hair. Well, we're all right there then, aren't we? Right, what time are we going out? End of. You know, you don't have to turn it into a big fucking thing. It is what it is. And people do have pubic hair. It's quite normal, especially women of a consensual age. So, enjoy your dating. That's been tonight's Night Time with Nelly. Have you enjoyed it as much as I have? It's been a bit of a fucking mixed bag. Fucking plastic dolls and sniffing arses and pubic hair and... what else did we get? A feeder and a chubby chaser and open relationships, and I'm quite traumatised by I'm giving you gonorrhea right now and you can't even stop me. That is not a fetish. It will never be a fetish, and if it is a fetish, then it should be against the law. Anyway, that's been Nighttime with Nelly. Please keep writing into the page, and I'll see you in the week with some more reviews. But apart from that, you'll see me next live on Sunday for Sunday service at 12 noon, sat at the kitchen table. So take care, flower pots. Thanks for watching. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you've been watching me from, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Good night.